The Indian government's vision for Viksit Bharat is likely to be the central theme of Union Budget 2024. An important aspect of this growth for India is the potential of its domestic manufacturing industry. Joining me today in this episode of Nation Wants to Grow, pre-budget special is Mr. Mahesh Gupta, Chairman, Kent RO Systems. Mr. Gupta, welcome to Republic.
Namaskar.
So as we know that, India has a huge projection, a huge ambition to become a developed economy in the coming decade. So while manufacturing becomes a very key segment in this journey, do you think while the country has got the PLI systems in place, while Make It in India is in place, do you think we are doing enough? And what is the scope for India to do further to accelerate this growth in manufacturing sector?
Yes, manufacturing in India has to grow rapidly. The contribution of manufacturing in GDP of India is about 23-24%, which needs to go up further if we need to be a developed country by 2047. And I think a lot of policies have come in from the government of India, but more things need to be done as we move forward into this sector. And I'm very positive it will happen because the political situation and the demand within the country are requiring India to grow rapidly in manufacturing. And we are happy to note that the government is going to look at it in a very positive way.
Yeah, well, the political stability has its many pluses, but there's one big buzz in the country, and you must be aware that unemployment in India is a big subject of conversation, even as we are moving into the budget in a couple of days. If the manufacturing industry is growing fast enough, then why is there still a challenge to generate jobs?
Well, I think MSME is not growing at a fast pace, which it should. Because MSME is the industry which has more labor employment compared to large industries which are becoming more automatic. And I would say there are a few things which should be supported to MSME. Government has already put in a lot of emphasis to get the use of MSME at a faster pace. And they have said if the companies don't pay to MSME.
So, yes, and while MSME becomes the cornerstone of India's growth, and we know that the small and medium-scale industries are indeed the backbone of India's economy, and a lot needs to be done there. But even as the government is really focused and has been showing a steady growth in capex over the last couple of budgets, do you think private capex is one area that we need to focus on? Are the private players putting in enough money for growth?
Absolutely. I think the private people need to borrow more funds. The share market is in a very positive way to give funds to the private sector. And private sector is coming up, as we can see, wherever PLI was introduced, a lot of activities have come in by the manufacturing industries in private sector. And I'm sure with the stability in the country, as well as the requirement in the world, order the China plus one policy, private sector is going to come up and put up facilities. I'm very confident on this.
Yes, China plus one is where India has to score, and the world is looking at India as an option next to the behemoth that China is. But foreign investments to flow in easily, smoothly, and people to really grow faster, do you think that ease of doing business in India and to set up, are the policies all intact, or do you think there's still some scope for ease for foreign players to step in and step up in India?
The foreign people look for two aspects. One is where to get the best return. So if the Americans start giving more interest, they move their money back to America back. And if they find that they don't get enough returns in other countries, they come back to India. But that is more on FDI. But if we get into manufacturing sector, people invest, foreign institutions who invest in manufacturing, they look at a long-term policy. But I think they are looking at India in a very, very positive way because of the manpower availability and the technical skills availability in the country. The sectors which are looking very positive is solar manufacturing, solar systems manufacturing in the country. semiconductor manufacturing in the country. They're going to come in a big way in this country. And they will feed not only to India, they'll expect it to feed all over the world. So I'm very positive that the foreign investment will come into this country and grow the manufacturing sector.
Globally, the buzzword right now in manufacturing industry is automation. As we know that artificial intelligence, robotics are becoming very, very crucial for industries to achieve that sort of scale. Do you think we are fast enough to adapt to these new and emerging technologies? What is your take on AI and, modern technologies?
I think India is going to take a lead in terms of AI because we have a large setup of resources in terms of our software engineer who will work in this direction. We are already seeing the result in the last 6 months. All our big IT companies are doing quite well in the international market, and AI is one of the methods to do it. That's the buzz at this moment of time. However, automation in the industries would depend upon how big companies do come up. But to my mind, AI is going to take the big seat in terms of service as well as manufacturing sector.
So, Kent, is this case study in itself, how you grew from your plant in Noida, and you are pretty much the market leader in what you do. But even in Kent, we have seen that you have diversified in what you produce. So is diversification important for manufacturers to reach far and wide and to improve scale of production?
Absolutely. We have diversified, keeping the requirement in mind. Climate change is a big problem all over the world. And to do this, we need to reduce the consumption of energy, electrical energy. We ventured into the BLDC fans, which save 65% electricity. A normal fan consuming 70 watt of power, a BLDC fan consumes 28 watt of power. So we came into this industry seeing the potential is likely to have world over. If I take only an example of India, there are 100 crore fans which are operating. And theoretically, if all fans get replaced to BLDC technology, you can save 20 power plants of 500 megawatts. So that's the potential of saving of energy. So we thought it's a good idea. And a lot of new industries will emerge out as we progress because technology is changing fast. And a fast changing technologies, the demand for the world order is going to be different. And that's how new things will come up in the future as well. So diversification will continue to be a part of growth of every industry.
So, Kent is definitely one of those brands which we can proudly call as homegrown. I want to understand from you how difficult it is for a homegrown brand to make its presence felt in Asia and beyond. Is there enough possibility for penetration in other markets? And while others, aspire to come to India and manufacture, how difficult or easy is it for Indian homegrown brands to make an impact outside?
Well, we have to do it. If India has to grow and India is going to be a developed country, then Indian manufacturers and Indian brands have to occupy space all over the globe. And we in Kent believe in the same philosophy. Today, we export to about 20 countries. And we are number one brand of water purifiers in our adjoining neighbors, maybe Bangladesh, maybe Nepal, maybe UAE. And we have our ambitions to go to US and make our brand presence there. And we want to grow in the developed countries as well. So we feel that if India is to be a developed nation, Indian brands have to take space globally. And I am sure a number of brands will do that in coming times.
So, sir, if you have a wish list for the finance minister right ahead of the union budget, what should that be?
Well, my wish list is there should be more growth-oriented funds. The government at the moment is very robust. Funds are flowing into the government's treasury. We are having a good direct tax collections. We are having good GST collections. So that's a very positive side of it. The more funds coming into the government side should go either into infrastructure or real estate. And I feel the real estate industry would give consumption as well as demand to all the industries in the country and even employment. So by some process, they need to put in money for subversion of interest in the real estate sector. They must have home for everybody in the country. And for that, they require some type of boost up out there. And obviously, people are looking for income tax. I would also say the middle income group requires some relaxation so that they have more money in their hand for consumption. And I also feel that the high-end people who have a high level of surcharge, some relief should come in there because 40% taxation is quite a high number at that level. So some relief should come in there as well.
Well, taxation rebate and whatnot. Let's see what the finance minister has on her mind on Tuesday as we are all gearing up to hear her verdict on Budget 2024. Thank you, Mr. Gupta, for joining us. And we hope to see you again on one of our shows, on budget-related shows. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for watching this very special episode of Nation Wants to Grow. Do log on to our website www.republicbiz.com for more budget news. Stay tuned.